Hi Angel, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Pamela Makobo if you are new here, and thank you so much for watching my video today. So in today's video we're going to be having a little bit of a girl talk. You guys can tell that I'm already sitting down and I'm relaxed, but before we get into the girl talk, I just want us to get into this hair. Okay, you guys haven't seen me with a wig on in a minute. I haven't seen myself with a wig on in a minute. So I want to thank today's sponsor, Yolova Hair, for sponsoring this video by sending me this lovely Jerry curl unit. This is the curliest wig I've ever had. Very soft. So let's get into the whole ad before we get into the girl talk video, and then yeah, we'll come back and get into our girl. Alright my angels, so we're about to get into the install of this beautiful curly Jerry curl unit, and I just wanted to let you guys know that all of the details for this hair are going to be in the description box below, as well as a 10% discount code which you can use to get 10% off on this unit from Yolova Hair. As far as the install goes, I literally had the quickest install process I've ever had when it came to a 13x4 lace closure. This hair was very easy to install. The install was fairly hassle free, as you guys will see in the install that's coming up. And I also wanted to show you guys how the hair looked in its wet state and how it looked when it was voluminous and dry and very curly, as you guys saw in the beginning of the video. So yeah, let's get into the install of this hair. So all of the details on this hair will be down in my description box below if you are interested in purchasing this hair. There's also a discount code with my name on it that you can use. But now we're about to get into our girl talk portion of this video, which is probably going to be the longest portion. But before we get into that, I want to show you guys that I'm so relaxed. I'm having a glass of my favorite red wine. This is my first sip, and this is the wine that I'm currently drinking right now. It's Saint Celine, Saint Celine's natural sweet red wine. And what I do is I also pour a little bit of grape juice in the red grape juice, because when it's been a minute since I've had wine, it tends to taste a little bit bitter, and the grape juice just sweetens it a little bit because I like sweet drinks. Okay, so getting into the girl talk, a couple of days back I let you guys know that I want to film a sit down video because I haven't done that in so long, and I love sit down videos because I get to talk your ears off. I get to talk your ears off for the longest time, and you guys are just still like, oh girl, continue talking. Okay, but on a serious note, I really like talking to you guys and just sitting down like this and, you know, just having a conversation with you guys. So I asked you guys on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please head over to Instagram right now and follow me. That is where I asked you guys to submit a couple of questions where you guys were like asking me like either questions about me, questions about like my feminine health, and also you guys submitted some scenarios where you would like a little bit of my advice, you know, my big sis advice. I think I can call myself a big sis now because I'm quite old. Okay, I might have this baby face, but I'm old. Like, I don't know if being 21 makes me old, but yeah, I think I'm qualified to give like big sis advice, and I'm really happy that you guys felt safe and confident enough to confide in me, and I will be keeping everybody's name anonymous because I trust that you guys sent in all those questions and all your scenarios assuming that I was going to keep your names anonymous, which I will do. You know, what goes on between us will stay between us, okay? So yeah, let me head over to my Instagram. Okay, so I have all of the questions that you guys sent in here. And the first question, somebody asked, what contraceptives do you use? So I use, I'm on the pill. I am on a birth control pill, and I actually have my pills here because I collected my prescription yesterday and I was like, okay, let me just show them. So this is what the box looks like. At the pharmacy, they always feel the need to slap the label on top of the box. Even when I ask them, please put the label at the back, they don't listen. But this is the brand of birth control that I am on. It is called Yasmin Plus. Yasmin Plus, and it's got 28 pills, 21 active pills, and 7 inactive placebo or folic acid pills. It used to be Yasmin, but then my pharmacist told me that the manufacturer discontinued Yasmin and they introduced Yasmin Plus to the market. So the plus just means that there is added folic acid in the 7 inactive pills. These used to be sugar pills, but now they are folic acid pills. Folic acid, I don't know much about it. I just know that pregnant ladies, they need folic acid. So she was telling me that in the event of me ever falling pregnant, if I am on the pill, then my body would have enough folic acid to support my unborn baby. But that's all we want. So yeah, this is the brand of birth control that I use, and I have been on Yasmin for the past 6 years. I've been on this since I was 15 and I'm 21 now, and my body responds like really well to it. I've tried other birth control methods like the Depo-Provera shot, and my body was like, what you doing, sis? What you doing? So let me tell you guys a little backstory of why I got on birth control in the first place. So why I started birth control, I had really hectic periods when I was younger. So my periods would go up to like 12 days, sometimes even 2 weeks, and it's not like the flow was heavy, and I had excruciatingly painful period pains and headaches and all of those nasty things. So then I decided to go just consult with my doctor at the time, my GP, who was also my he was an SGB member at my school. I come from a very small town, guys. I come from a very small town, okay? So my GP was an SGB member at my school, but that didn't stop me because, you know, at that age I already knew about doctor-patient confidentiality and all of that stuff. And so when I went to go consult, he did an ultrasound and everything to find out if I was like bleeding internally and all that stuff. And then he found out that I wasn't, did some blood tests, pregnancy tests included, and then he prescribed me Yasmin, and he told me that after 6 months again I should go in for another checkup, and so on. And so I did, and that has been my birth control journey. That's how I started, and I'm still on it. I trust and believe in contraception, okay? One thing about me, I believe in prevention is better than cure, okay? Because when I started becoming sexually active and all of that, I don't want any mistakes. I don't want any mistakes because I don't want to have a child right now. I'm not trying to conceive. So birth control, I believe in birth control. I recommend birth control to all my friends because sometimes you get into risky shit. Behavior is just risky, and now the day afterwards you're rushing trying to get a morning after pill, blah blah. I've never had a pregnancy scare. I've never had to take a plan B because why? I'm on plan A. Yeah, so that's been my birth control journey. As far as, you know, a lot of women hold these fears of fibroids and blood clots and all of that. I've never experienced that. I go in for my checkups very frequently. I'm sure my doctors and the nurses that work at his practice are really tired of me. I go there a lot of times, okay? I go for checkups and my pap smear I do twice a year if I have the chance to, but once a year should be enough. So yeah, that's been my little journey with Yasmin. Skin is popping. It never led to me gaining weight or anything because I don't know, I've always been petite, and for the past 6 years I've been on this thing. I've never gained weight. So as far as weight gain and all of that, I've never experienced it, but I do urge you to consult with your own GP. If you don't have a doctor, feel free to walk into a clinic, ask them all the questions that you have. A consultation should mean a checkup where they do like blood tests for you and they put you on the best contraceptive that suits your body. Okay, so yeah, that's my birth control that I use. Next question. Steps to bossing up in university. Mtase asfune kubabi. Please, we want to be gorgeous girls. So I guess you're asking me how to be cute and pretty in varsity. Okay, so let me tell you guys, when I was in high school, when I was like in grade 11, I already knew people who were in varsity, and I liked like the way varsity girls were. They were cute, nails done, lashes done, they do their makeup and whatever. And you know, when you're in high school, you don't have that freedom. You can't rock up to high school on Monday morning assembly with nails done. You can't rock up to your first period maths with your makeup done, you know, and weaves. Oh, I forget. Okay, so I don't know about other schools, but that was how my school was. So you just show up to school looking crusty as fuck. So when I was in high school, I knew when I get to varsity, I'm gonna be that girl who does her makeup. I'm gonna be that girl who's always rocking her weave. You'll never catch me slacking, and I made sure. Okay, so when I was in first year and I got to varsity, I was there. Okay, nails done, makeup done, lashes. I used to get lash extensions, weaves, all of that. But then obviously I was on a budget, so I would take my allowance, which we were receiving from my bursary, and I'd get my nails done. I'd put aside, at the time it didn't cost me more than 200 rand to do both my pedicure and my manicures because it was really cheap. And I got my nails done in Bram. I still get my nails done in Bram because it's much cheaper there than going to like a boutique somewhere. And in first year I used to buy my wigs from Dragon City. Now I don't have to buy wigs because I get wigs sent to me. So now things have changed a little bit, but I still get my nails done in Bram. I still make sure. Right now I think it costs me like a little under 300 rands to get both my pedicure and manicure done. So I put aside that amount of money to get my nails done and, you know, look cute, because I love looking cute. It's a form of self-care. Please, maintenance is a form of self-care. Let's normalize that. Okay, just as much as guys go and get their hair cut and they go and, you know, buy cologne or whatever the hell men do, maintenance is also a form of self-care. Well, it is to me. I love feeling cute. I love looking good. I don't always look good. Sometimes you'll catch me here with some flip-flops on, looking crusty or whatever, but when I want to feel cute and I know I can doll up, it's the best thing for me. So yeah, that's how I bossed up in varsity. I just made sure that whenever I did want to get like my nails done or whatever, I had put money aside for that because I just like looking good. I like smelling good, you know. It's just a form of self-care for me. And I remember in first year, guys, there was an exam. I would wake up earlier just so I can get ready to go to the exam. I would look cute at 8 a.m. in the morning, okay? I didn't care. I wanted to look cute because when I look good, I feel good. And when I feel good, I do good, okay? Okay, what are your thoughts on long distance relationships? Let me take a sip out of my glass of this one. Thank you for asking this question and wording it in the way that you did. What are your thoughts on long distance relationships? So my thoughts on long distance relationships, they can work. They can work. I was in a long distance relationship for a really long time, and I think a lot of people can relate when I say that last year lockdown did a number on my long distance relationship, because now we weren't going like a month or 2 months without seeing each other. It was like 7 months at a time. 7 months I didn't see my boyfriend at the time, and this just doesn't mean 7 months of not seeing each other. It means 7 months of no physical touch, 7 months of no sex, 7 months of just not being around your person, you know. And that was really hard for me. And there was a point in that 7 months where I felt like this is dying. This is dying. Prior to that, we would go maybe 1-2 months at most without seeing each other, and then when we do see each other, we see each other for like a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time. So that really made up for the month, sorry, this morning, that those 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I mean that week or 2 weeks that we spent together after not seeing each other for like a month or so, that would make up for lost time. But now going 7 months without seeing each other and not knowing whether we're going to see each other at all. And even if when we do see each other, it's like there's so much that I felt like we lost out on. So long distance relationships for me, they can work, you know. They take a lot of work. Relationships in general require a lot of work, okay? It requires a lot of emotional labor, a lot of intellectual labor, okay, a lot of communication and all of that, you know. So if you have all of those things and you're prepared to put in the work to make your relationship successful, then the distance between you guys, it shouldn't matter much, you know. But it also depends on how long the distance is and how practical it is for you guys to see each other often. I feel if you're across the ocean and you talk about long distance relationship, I can't catch a flight across the ocean every 2 weeks. I can't. Okay, if you're in another town, I can catch a taxi every 2 weeks or every other weekend. See, there's just a lot of, it's just very relative. Hey, it's a lot. Long distance relationships are a lot, but I don't want to discourage anyone into not getting into a long distance relationship. And also, you have to really trust your partner, okay? There are gonna be times when you have to trust your partner. You really have to trust the person that you're in the relationship with, and make sure that they trust you too. You don't want to come back from a busy day one day and you left your phone here and you have your phone ringing off the hook. Oh, where were you? What were you doing? Who were you doing it with? Those are the kind of things that just you know. So I don't want to say don't get into a long distance relationship, because it requires a lot of work. All relationships require a lot of work. So I just want to say that as long as you're willing to put in the effort that is required to maintain a healthy long distance relationship, then you should definitely do it. Definitely. Okay, how did you gain weight and still feel confident? Alright, so if you guys have been watching my channel for a little longer than a couple of months, you know that I started like a little weight gain journey a couple of months back. And so to answer the first part of the question, how did I gain weight? So I gained weight using these pills right here, Actin, and I heard of these from my lash tech from back home. She told me about them. I was like telling her that I really have trouble putting on weight and all of that, and she was like, oh, you should try these out, check them out. A box of Actin 30 tablets cost 62 rands at Clicks. Okay, this Kim also has them, but I know at Clicks they cost 62 rands, and it's 30 tablets in here. So these are allergy pills, but a lot of people take them because one of the side effects is that they'll make you hungry. One of the side effects is that it stimulates an appetite, so that's why a lot of people take them in order to put on weight. And I started taking them for the same reason. I started gaining weight, and at first I wasn't really concerned with like gaining weight or whatever. At first it was a concern over my lack of appetite. I would not eat. Before I started taking Actin, I wouldn't eat at all. My appetite was down horrendous, okay? And I always used to say that I had an appetite of an 8-year-old, and it just didn't suit my 21-year-old lifestyle, you know? So I was always feeling fatigued, I was burnt out. I was going through it, and I felt like I could owe a lot of those burnout symptoms to my lack of appetite. So then I just started taking the Actin pills, and I was eating. I was buying groceries every 2 weeks. I was eating maybe like 3, 4, 5 times a day, and I'm not talking about snacks. I'm talking about full meals, carbs, everything. And then I did put on weight. I put on weight. It was very noticeable. People around me started noticing. My roommate started calling me Doodla. My roommate started calling me Doodla because she's like, girl, when I met you, you did not have all this ass, okay? My body started changing. I started getting more stretch marks here and there, but I didn't really mind because I was eating better, and that's what I wanted in the first place. I never weighed myself. I haven't weighed myself in a long time, but I knew that the last time I weighed myself, I was like 43 kgs, and whatever weight I'm at right now is the heaviest I've ever been in my life. I've never been able to touch 50 kgs. I don't know if I'm 50 kgs now. I don't know. But yeah, that's how I gained weight. And how did I feel confident afterwards? I feel like a lot of people gain weight unintentionally, and that's what leads to like the lack of confidence that comes with gaining weight, especially as a woman. You know, your body changes a lot. My boobs started getting bigger, and my bum started getting like bigger, also my arms as well. I know they don't look that big, but for me this is big, okay? So the confidence that I still maintained, I just knew that my body was going to change because I'm actively putting on weight, and I knew that this is what I wanted. So it didn't really take a toll on my confidence because I had already made peace with the fact that this is what I wanted. My face started getting rounder, and my double chin turned into a triple chin. But I just knew that this is what I wanted, so I really don't mind. This is me eating healthier, eating better, and just fueling my body better than I was before, and gaining weight. It also makes me look my age. I like to say, before I'm already petite, I'm already short, okay? Now I'm short and skinny, I look 15. People used to think that me and my little brother, who is 16, are twins. There's a 5-year age gap between us, and people used to think that I'm his twin. That's how small I used to be, guys. So now that I've put on weight, I feel like I look my age more. I think it's just the opposite of what most girls go through. I gain weight and start feeling more confident. Most girls gain weight and start feeling less confident because it's not what they wanted in the first place. This is what I wanted in the first place, so that's how I maintain my confidence. Let's see. Do you still smoke weed? I swear you don't look like you do. All right, so actually no, I don't smoke weed anymore because number one, I'm not gonna go buy weed. I'm not this cute face rocking up to a dealer. Oh, let me buy some. Also, I don't know how to roll blunts. These aren't blunt rolling fingers, guys. So then I just started taking edibles. That's how I get high now. I just take edibles, and they've been working out really well for me. And I'm glad that I stopped smoking weed because I don't smell like weed anymore. And I find that your space also smells like weed. Even though I don't smoke in here, my space just smells like weed because my clothing, my hair would carry the smell. So now I just take edibles when I want to get high, or when I want to enjoy a high, or I just want to relax. I'll just take edibles. What is your taste in music like? You give off a Jene Aiko vibe. I actually do listen to a lot of Jene Aiko. A lot of people tell me that I give off a Jene Aiko vibe, whatever the hell that is. Whatever the hell a Jene Aiko vibe is. But yeah, I do listen to a lot of Jene. I also listen to lo-fi. I listen to a lot of lo-fi. I love music with no lyrics in it sometimes, so lo-fi really works perfectly for me. Like the music you guys hear in my vlogs, that's the music I listen to in my own spare time. So that's how I find music for my vlogs sometimes. And also I like bad bitch anthems. I love me a good bad bitch anthem. My friends say to me I am the ambassador of bad bitch anthems. So I listen to mulatto, a lot of female rappers, City Girls of course, Ruby Rose. I listen to a lot of rap as well, and like hip-hop music. I'll always be like a hip-hop fan. Listen to J. Cole. Guys, my taste in music is very, very broad. There's no, like, it doesn't start here and end here. It's very broad. I listen to frequency music a lot too. Just now I was playing some soothing frequency music to deal with the headache that I was experiencing. And also recently, my current favorite Amapiano song has been Abalele by Kabza the Small featuring DJ Maporisa. That's a current fave. I listen to that song every day, probably 3 times a day. I listen to that song. So yeah, that's what my taste in music is like. From Jene Aiko to frequency music to bad bitch anthems to rap and all of that. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. So let me see next. Do you use tampons or pads when you're on your period? So ever since I started my first period, I think I started menstruating when I was like 13, and at the time, of course it just came as a surprise. I didn't have any pads or anything myself, but I have a mom and a sister, so they were very helpful to me on that day. I was so scared and everything, but ever since then I've been using a Kotex brand of pads, and I use the Kotex Young Maxi. So the young just means it's for like teenage girls, I guess, and Maxi is maxi pads, because my flow used to be so heavy and these were the pads that I used to use. So I've been using these since I was 13, and I still use them till this day, because I find that the maxi pads that aren't labeled young and they don't have this little cartoon character here, they're really big. Those things are huge, so they're too big for me. So I just stick to using the young maxi pads because they fit me well. I guess because I'm such a small person and I have small body parts, if you know what I mean. my cooch is small, so if I use like the maxi pads, they're just way too big. And I use maxi pads, and I use the pads with the wings on them. Let me just pull one out to show you guys. And these are so comfortable. I feel like they hug my nanny. Okay, so they put like a little cute design on them lately, I guess. So these are the pads that I use. Let me just rip this off. and they have wings because I use the wings to attach this to my underwear, to my panties, and they're just so comfortable. I don't want to lie. So this is the size that I'm comfortable with. The other maxi pads that are like for adults, they're like this big. They're like this big, if I'm not mistaken, and they're way too big for me. They literally, the bigger ones go up to my butt, like literally not even just my butt, but like my lower back. They're that big. So this is the size that I'm comfortable with, and this is what the pad looks like. I just had to open this now just to show you guys. So yeah, this is, I use pads with wings. I don't use tampons because I was never like introduced to tampons. I don't know, and tampons scare me. That thing that they do when they're inside of you, and they I also use panty liners for like the last day or two of my period when I'm just like spotting. Then I'll use a panty liner also from Kotex. I'm really loyal to this brand, guys. I absolutely love Kotex. So these are the everyday panty liners, and these are for, okay, let me just show you guys the side of the box. These are for everyday use, and they are thin and breathable, and these are so cute because they are single wrapped. Each one of them is like single wrapped and it has its own wrapping, and I think it's so cute. And it also keeps them really clean. If I want to put them in my handbag, they won't be mixing with all of the other things in my handbag, like my lotion or my lip gloss or my wallet or money or whatever. So keeping them in their own little packaging is really nice. So these are like really, they're fairly thin. They have like cute little designs on them, like most panty liners do. And I use these when I'm like spotting or when I'm like finishing off my period, which is usually like the last day or two. I use these. I heard you talk about being in therapy. How do you find a therapist and how much does it cost? So yes, I am in therapy, and how I found my therapist was I just basically googled psychologists near me, and I narrowed down the search. I was looking for a female therapist specifically, and I narrowed down the search. I made a list of all the female therapists that I found in Johannesburg, obviously in the vicinity of where I live. And then I was looking for a therapist who did online sessions, because when I go home in December, I'm going to be home for the entirety of December and January, and also a couple of weeks or a couple of days in February, I guess. So I do not want to stop going to therapy because I'm home. I want to continue with online sessions. So that's how I found my therapist. I went on Google and I was making a list, calling their offices to find out whether they took my medical aid scheme. And when I called my therapist's office, she told me that she did take my medical aid scheme, and I could just send her my medical aid card, medical aid information, my ID card, my medical aid, and then she'd contact my medical aid in order to process her claims and all of that. So yeah, so usually what I do when I look for in a therapist, I look for female therapists. Okay, I'm more comfortable talking to a woman than I am talking to a man, because I feel as though there are certain experiences and certain traumas that I've experienced in my life solely because I am a woman, and I do not need a man invalidating my experiences because he cannot relate or he does not understand. So that is why I always go for a female therapist, and I have been so blessed with my therapist. I absolutely look forward to our therapy sessions each and every single week, and I make time for it. I honor our appointments. I'm always on time, and I even throughout the week, whenever I'm going through something or I'm feeling something that I need to bring up with her, it's not always negative stuff. Sometimes I'll just be listening to a song and it'll trigger like a memory or something. I put it down in my notebook and then I'll bring it up to her in our session, and I'm so proud of myself for committing to my healing, committing to a better quality of life through going to therapy and talking to someone. because I feel like as much as I have friends and as much as I have family members that I can talk to or whatever, they are not equipped with the tools or the skills to help me heal. They're not equipped with the tools or the necessary skills to help me process certain emotions, process certain traumas. As much as I can talk to them and they'll listen, it's not their responsibility to help me heal. It's not their responsibility to help me process unresolved emotions or unresolved traumas, you know. And that's why I have a therapist. My therapist charges 950 rands for a 50-minute session, but our sessions always go over to like 60 minutes. Would you like to have kids one day? I don't really hate the idea of having kids, you know. I know on social media I can be all team fuck them kids, fetus deleters. Oh gosh, and I always make jokes about how I don't have a single maternal bone in my body and all of that, but I just really believe in conceiving a child out of love with somebody that I love, and the whole process of bringing a human being into this world, have it rooted in love. And that's the reason why for now I don't think I'm at that point in my life. I feel as though I also have to be emotionally prepared, okay? I have to be financially prepared to bring a child into this world and offer them all that they need in order to survive and make it into this world, just like my parents did for me. I at least owe them that much. And I think I also have to be really self-aware to bring a child into this world. I think a lot of people, I'm not judging anyone, but there are a lot of people that have children and they didn't plan to have children, and that results in their children having so much trauma that they carry with them because they were brought into this world unexpectedly. Nobody was really ready for them, and their parents weren't really prepared to have them, so their parents weren't prepared to be parents, and people just walking around with so much trauma from their parents because of such. And I do not want to put anybody through that. So that's why when people ask me, do I want to have kids, I always say no, because I don't feel as though I'm prepared to have kids right now. Your 3 favorite vloggers or YouTubers? Number 1 would have to be Lisa Onuoha. I hope I'm pronouncing her surname correctly, but she's based in the Netherlands and I absolutely love her channel. I love her videos, I love watching her, and I had a little bit of a phase where I was obsessed with Korean YouTube and I was watching a lot of like ASMR vlogs. So I'd have to say Michelle Choi or Michelle Choi. I'm just here butchering people's surnames. Michelle Choi. Everybody knows her. She has like 1 million subscribers. And then number 3 of vloggers, I think I can really put Ona Olifante. Guys, I love watching Ona's vlogs. I am part of the Double O gang. So yeah, those are my top 3 favorite vloggers, if you guys are really asking me top 3. How does one stop comparing herself to other girls and see herself as a princess or the dime that she really is? Let me tell you right now, comparing yourself to other girls is very common. It's more common than you think it is, okay? And I think it just shows you that you're normal. As much as people say, oh, jealousy is a disease, get better soon, blah blah blah, it doesn't always mean that you're jealous. It just means you compare yourself to them. Maybe you might be feeling insecure about something, and that's why I'm saying it's quite normal, because everybody has insecurities. But as soon as you start realizing that another girl's beauty or another girl's confidence does not necessarily have to mean the absence of your own, you're on the right track. Okay, so what I started doing this like a lot during quarantine, because during quarantine my self-confidence really, it took a left turn. So I remember this one exercise that my therapist had recommended that I do. So you take a piece of paper and you write affirmations to yourself. So the purpose of this is to use the words I am. And she said to me, the words I am belong to you. Nobody can say I am on your behalf. They can compliment you and say, oh, you're so pretty, you're so confident, you're so strong, whatever, but they cannot say I am on your behalf. So those two words belong to you, and they belong absolutely to you till the day you leave this earth. Okay, so you write affirmations beginning with the words I am, whatever you want to believe in that moment. I am beautiful, I am capable, I am confident, I am. You write them down on a piece of paper and you stand in front of a mirror. And in front of this mirror, you stare into your reflection for a couple of seconds in silence. You stay into your reflection for a couple of seconds, and then you start reading out loud these affirmations to yourself. And at the end, you tell yourself, I love you. I genuinely love you. And that has been the practice that I have done when my self-confidence was not at its highest. And one other tip I can give you is to define success, beauty, and confidence for yourself and start living according to that definition or that standard that you have for yourself, because other people have their own definitions of success and beauty and so on and so on. That does not mean that you need to follow other people's standards of beauty and success and, you know, having it together or whatever it may be. Define it for yourself and start validating yourself. That will literally make you stop comparing your own definition of success to another person's definition of success. The minute you realize that my success does not look the same as girl number B's success, okay? And it doesn't necessarily always mean that you're jealous and you're mean and whatever. It just means you're feeling a little insecure, and insecurities are normal. And it's actually really nice for me to see that you're willing to work on, you know, whatever it is that you feel insecure about and all of that. And I'm not here to tell you, oh, jealousy is a disease. No, everybody's been insecure at some point in their life, you know. So I'm really proud of you for asking this question and going on your little journey to recognize yourself as the princess and the dime that you are. How would you advise a girl that seems to be desperate or want more attention from a guy? Male validation. Don't we just love it? Don't we just love it? No, we don't actually. We don't have male validation here. I think I saw like a little TikTok the other day, and this girl was doing a voiceover about how when she goes out and a guy compliments her, she's pretty that day. If she goes out and a guy doesn't compliment her, she doesn't feel pretty. Male validation. Why do we need male validation? Is it desperation? Or has society conditioned us as girls to feel as though if a man does not validate your beauty or your worth, then they do not exist? Hectic question. But what was the question in the first place? Now I'm going to a whole philosophical rant. How would you advise a girl that seems to be desperate? Girl, the minute you realize that a man's validation means absolutely nothing is the day you will be set free from constantly seeking male validation, okay? So free yourself from the shackles of seeking validation from a man. I don't know if you meant in the romantic sense or you just meant in general, because I know a lot of girls, when we were younger, we felt as though we had to dress a certain way or look a certain way just so that a guy can compliment you. And when a guy compliments you, then you feel that, oh wow, then I'm actually really pretty. But that's not the case. You'll get older and you'll realize that boys suck. Men suck. And you should feel beautiful and confident in yourself at first, and then you'll notice that other people's whether people compliment you or not, you know you're beautiful, you know you're worth it, you know you are respectable, you know you are kind and all of that. So you don't need anybody to validate that for you. So yeah, male validation and teenage goals. Somebody should write a paper on that. What are the things you look for in a guy before you start dating? Yo, it's very funny to me when you guys ask me about my love life. My love life is very quiet. I think that's why I never used to really talk about it, because it was really quiet. But what I look for in a guy, indoda maybe soft. A guy must be soft. I like a soft, gentle guy. I like kind people, so I like a guy to be kind. Not just to me. It's very easy to be kind to the person you're pursuing, but I like a person who's just kind to people that they won't even benefit from being kind to them, you know. Be kind to strangers, just be a kind person. Indoda maybe mehla ama brown. I like a clean guy, you know, clean, takes care of himself, smells good, such things. I like smart people, because I want to be able to hold a conversation with you, and it also helps if we have things in common, because then we have things to talk about and things to be able to relate to each other on. But ultimately, I think I'm at an age where I'm not looking, but if somebody were to be in my life romantically, I would want them to be self-aware. I want someone who is aware of their emotions, aware of the traumas that they have, and I don't want someone who's running away from their past, or you know, the traumas that they've experienced, because those things influence your romantic relationships a lot. Okay, I don't want people who have trust issues and they're not willing to work on those trust issues because they just refuse to acknowledge that they have traumas from their past relationships, not even just past romantic relationships, but just relationships in general, whether it's family relationships or friendships. You know, I just want someone who's self-aware, because I'm at a stage in my life where I'm self-aware. I feel as though I'm self-aware, and I'm on a journey to heal the things that I know have hurt me in the past, so that they do not influence my future relationships. So I just want somebody who's self-aware. Okay, I'm not preventing, and I've started having unprotected sex. What would you advise me to do? Unprotected sex comes with a lot of consequences that can be detrimental to your health. Okay, I'm talking about STIs and also unwanted pregnancy. Unless you're trying to conceive, then you don't need to be on birth control or anything. I'm assuming that you do not want to have kids. That's why you mentioned prevention. So I would advise you go with your sexual partner to visit a doctor or a clinic, whatever is available to you. First of all, get STI tests done and a rapid HIV test with your sexual partner. Get them done so that you guys can rule that out. And then if you do not want to conceive, ask your doctor or nurse about contraceptives and consult with them about contraceptives. Ask them all the questions that you have. and start the method of contraception that you best feel comfortable with and you have consulted on and all of that. And I wish you good luck, and I'm actually really glad that you asked this. I hope that this is something that you feel comfortable with talking to your sexual partner about as well. Otherwise, you should not be having sex with that person in the first place. Okay, where's the craziest place you've ever hooked up with someone? Okay, crazy. I don't know what crazy entails, but I hope I don't get kicked out of school for this. I've had sex with my ex on campus one time. This was back in first year, and we had sex in the car in the parking lot on campus. Yeah, guys, you guys are gonna get me expelled from school. But yeah, that's the craziest place. It was very risky because it wasn't even that late, and there were like security guards doing their rounds there and everything. Could have gotten caught, but we didn't. It was very thrilling. So yeah, that's the craziest place that I've had sex in. How to deal with toxic friendships. I don't have toxic friends, and I think that's indicative of how I deal with them. My lack of toxic friends tells you how I deal with them. Guys, there's absolutely no reason to be in a relationship with someone where you feel you can identify that this is toxic, this is bad, this is unhealthy, and you are still in that relationship, especially if it's a friendship, because your friends are the people that you should be able to turn to and, you know, be honest with, be open with, and feel safe around. So if you're in a relationship with someone that should be your friend but they don't feel like your friend, there's no need to be in that relationship anymore. It's okay to peacefully walk away, peacefully detach yourself from that person. You know, cutting people off doesn't always have to be negative and, you know, shady and all of those bad things. You can peacefully remove yourself from a situation. Is it okay to wash your V with water only? I think you're saying the word V because last time on my other video I said how on YouTube videos get demonetized when you use names of genitals. So is it okay to wash your coochie with water only? Yes, it's absolutely okay. At most that's what your coochie needs. If you wash your coochie with water every single day, that should be enough. You know, you're drinking your water, and when you clean, and you just clean with water. That's what I had been doing for the longest time before I invested in a feminine hygiene wash. I was just washing with water down there, and I didn't experience any problems and so on. So yeah, washing with water down there should be enough. Do you think it's healthy for an 18-year-old to date a 29-year-old guy? No, I do not think it is healthy for an 18-year-old girl to be dating a 29-year-old man. And here is why I do not think it's healthy. For starters, 18-year-old girl. When I think back on my 18-year-old self, I was a child. 18-year-old Pamela was a child still, you know. And yo, 29. Even now, I'm 21, and I don't see myself ever dating someone who's 29. It's not healthy because as a young girl, yeah, you're 18 legally, you're an adult. I feel like it just ages you. It just ages you being in a relationship with someone who's so much older than you. An 11-year-old age gap is not a joke, okay? The word relationship, okay, if you're in a romantic relationship with someone, the word relationship in itself entails that you can relate to that person in a certain way. How do you relate to someone who's 29 when you're 18? Your biggest problem is that you didn't submit Miss Van der Merwe's homework Afrikaans Thursday morning, so she's calling your parents. A 29-year-old man What's his biggest problem, and how do you relate to that? And also, does this 29-year-old man have 18-year-old friends that he relates to? And I'm talking about male friends. Does this 29-year-old man look at 18-year-old boys and see people he can relate to? Or does he see children when he looks at 18-year-old boys? Okay. And also think of your 29-year-old self. Step into this 29-year-old version of yourself. You're older, you're wiser, you have your shit together, you have your, you're independent financially and all of that. When you see you are 29 years old and you look at an 18-year-old boy, are you going to see a child, or are you going to see somebody you can have sex with? So you see, that's the contrast between men and women in this society that we live in. And there's this notion that is always perpetuated that, oh, girls mature faster than boys, and that is always the case. When it's time to fuck girls and have sex with them, they mature faster. But when it's time to give them positions that are influential in the economy, and it's time to give us positions in politics that are influential, then women are emotional. But when it's time to fuck us and lay us on our backs, we're more mature. That's just my whole issue with this. Okay, so I'm just concerned, but I'm also angry at a 29-year-old man that looks at an 18-year-old and sees a sexual partner. Guys, my camera's battery died, so I just have to film this on my phone. I'm sorry if the volume is a little lower than usual, but I just wanted to say thank you so much, my angel, for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Have your friends subscribe to my channel, and have them have their friends subscribe to my channel, so that you guys can help little old me reach my goal of 10,000 angels. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.